Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I will create HSL bus line 345 which runs from Elinnauki in Helsinki to Rinnekoti in Espoo, and we're also going to cover a stretch of road in Vantaa. This is a hugely long line, mostly following the old Vihdintie, which originally led from Helsinki to Pori before another road was constructed, which sorry about that, solved the traffic problems between Helsinki and Vihti. And this line runs, I think, more than halfway to Vihti. So like I said, it's a long line. But most of it has already been built. So without further delay, let's move on to creating this line. Here we go. We stop at Elinnauki and we start at Elinnauki. Then we're gonna stop at Hesperian Puisto. Then at Töölön Halli. Then at Kansaneläkelaitos. And then at Töölön Tulli. We continue the usual ways. We stop at Kuusitie. We stop at Tilkka. We stop at Ruskeasu. We stop at Ruskeasun Varikko. And we stop at Talontie. Now I will have to look a bit in the map. There we go. So, after Talontie, we'll move on to Karvamukuja. And from Karvamukuja to Valimokuja. Then Vihdintien silta. And Marttila. Probably Konalan Puisto is the following one, right? Then Ruosilan polku. And Malminkartanon tie. Still going straight. Yes, wonderful. After Malminkartanon tie, we'll stop at Vanha Hämeenkylän tie. And Koivuvaaran polku. At oh dear, at Kierrepolku. So this is actually what I built in the last video. So then we'll stop at Koivuvaara, at Lammaslammen tie, at Santamäen tie. But then the following stop will be here at Maissikuja. So the first thing that we'll have to build comes here at Maissikuja. And we're already way past halfway this line. So, like I told you, it's a long line, but most of it has already been created, because this isn't even... What's happening now? Why can I... What is this? Come on! What's this bullshit? What? So, okay, well, this time it's gone too far. Oops. Come on, there we go. Not sure if I needed a crossing from... Oops, no, don't. I have impossible... It's impossible for me to understand what's happening here. Why can it at times be this difficult? But there we go. So let's go back to lines. After Santamäen tie, we then stop at Maissi, whatever. And then we stop at Tavastkullan tie, Tavastkullaväin, but this Tavastkullaväin stop is on the other side of this crossing. And there we go, and then let's see what happens if I try to connect this one. Okay, oops. It works. Surprise, really. So that's Tavastkullan tie. Then after Tavastkullan tie, we're gonna stop at... no, there will be a couple of new stops. there will be no new stops. There will be absolutely no new stops because from here onwards I will simply continue building the road and then we will stop in Askisto at the stop which has been the terminus of so many lines before this. Oh, and here we have a nice roundabout. Okay, and here we apparently have some issue. Well, that solves it. Not the most beautiful solution, but okay. Let's build this set of tracks and roads, and then let's go back to lines. So we will stop at Tavaskylantie, and then we will stop at Uudenkylantie. After that, we'll stop at Pikkujärventie, at Hirsikuja. And at Askistontie. And now that stop is in the wrong place. So, we're gonna need a new one for it. And that new stop will then, well, I think that after this crossing, wait, it's after that roundabout when it changes from city road to full-scale country road. But as you can see, the next existing part of the network is not far away. So here we have Askistontie. And before doing anything stupid, I will do like this. I will also prepare for the future by finalizing the crossing. And then we will delete the station and make these platforms a part of Askistontie. There we go. How wonderful can that be? After Askistontie, the following stop is called Timmermalmin tie. Obviously, that's gonna be Timmermalmsveien. How right I was. Oh, that would have been a total waste of space. The following stop is called Odilampi. No Swedish name for that. And you know what? I don't feel like roundabouts today. So there we go. Oops. Okay, it also seems I forgot to restart the timer um, when I fixed that little issue with the roads. So there we go. The following stop is then called Metsämaa. That also is only in Swedish. Finnish. All right, I see. No keskimetsämaa, just metsämaa. And after Metsämaa, we stop at Kalajärvi. So this is again when we reach. Oh, I'm accidentally driving this 50 kilometers an hour. Well, the truth probably is 60 kilometers an hour. There is no such road in here, so we'll do with 50. It's a slight waste of time, but again, who cares? So let's build this part of the road and go back to the lines. And where was I? I was at Askistontie. And then we are at Timmermalmintie, and then at Odilampi, and then at Metsämaa, then at Kalajärvi. And then we're gonna stop at Kalajärvi Ranta, obviously. I will have to check this, that's quite correct. And then we're gonna stop at Pienarti. Oh, no stop in Lahnus. Well, never mind, and our destination is somewhere around here, so we're not too far away from it. But the following stop is then called Lahnus. And now we're actually going to have to build the rest of this line. So quite a lot of building to do. But also now we're gonna go up to 70. I'm pretty sure it starts somewhere around here. So oops, yeah. After this stop it's up to 70. The bus passengers have deserved a quicker line. Although I must say that this road is pretty beautiful in terms of the scenery, so well, I wouldn't be too disappointed to do some sightseeing though. After Lahnus we stop at Hemgård. And this stop in turn only has a Swedish name. So let's go back to the tracks, let's go back to the station mode, and let's take the 70 kilometers an hour. There we are. These areas are not very densely populated. After Hemgård, we're gonna stop at Loki. Luke. Where is that gonna be? It's gonna be over here. As you can see, we're now doing 70 an hour. There you go. After Loki, we're gonna stop at Klockas. There is a golf yard over there, by the way. Golf yard, golf field, of course. What am I talking about? After Klockas, we're gonna stop at Kaitalampi. Sorry about that. Here we go. After Kaitalampi, we'll stop at the Lakiston Risti. Lakistokurset, which this line really doesn't pass this way. It does pass it the other way because the other Lakiston Risti stop is on the other side of this crossing. I mean, the other stop is over here, but as we're in this world, this is how it works. I actually wonder why the stops always come after the crossings. Yeah, after the crossings. That's something I can't really figure out. Or is it because if you turn from the crossing, there is the stop? Well, I don't know. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna continue this highway stretch, and then I'm gonna move back to city roads, which will eventually be the thing that's gonna happen now. After Lakiston Risti, we will then stop at is it Mustasilta? That's absolutely right, and don't try to tell me that there is no Swedish name for Mustasilta. It would be logical to have it named Schwarzbro, but that hasn't happened. So, Mostasilta it shall be. There we go. And there we go. What a nice little turn over. Whoops. Well, that can stay here. That can stay there. After Mustasilta, we're down to the last 10 stops on the line actually, so turning out quite nicely. We're gonna stop at Vanha Lakistontie, Gamla Lakistovägen, and then after Vanha Lakistontie, oh, Rinnekot is getting closer, but there are a lot of stops in there, so the Vanha Lakistontie we stop at Ovella. After Ovalla, we stop at Lakistoniitty, Lakistoengen. So now we're finally down to Lakisto. That's great. That's absolutely great. Sorry about that. Sorry again. So, after Lakistoniitty, sorry, we'll stop at Vilkka, which is, surprise, surprise, Vilkka in Swedish. Sorry. after Vilkka, our following stop is gonna be Rinnekodin ostoskeskus. There is a mall in here. I will have to go check what that looks like, because I'm finding difficult to believe that there would be a shopping center in here. Let me see. Well, there is a school. Well, it's no longer a shopping center. The stop is named after a former shopping center. There was a store and a post office and stuff like that in here, but that was back in the days. So it's gonna be over here. And there we go. After Rinnekodin ostoskeskus, we're gonna stop at talouskeskus. Ekonomicentret. So this entire area is just a massive something. I mean, they're social and healthcare buildings, but I really don't know who the patients sort of are. There are several of them. Some have even been demolished, it seems. I wonder what the hell has been over there. I mean, there are just numerous of them. They have been built in several phases. Some of them are from the 50s. Some of them are from the 60s, 70s. You kind of name it. And it's just sort of a city within a city. I will actually check this out for you. Well, there's been a lot of things in there. But originally it has been this area has been for the mentally disabled. And later on the company the foundation running the area has been turned into a company which also provides care for the elderly and other kinds of people who cannot survive on their own. So It's an institution, but it's a fairly open institution. After Talouskeskus, we're gonna stop at Kumpukuja, Kumpugränden, and then at Skogby. But first, the Kumpukuja stop. And finally the Skogby stop. There is even a golf field here. So, Skogby it is then. And this is the terminus. We have finally reached it. And it's not going to go further from Skogby. So then we're just gonna have to make a loop somewhere. Let's sort of play it safe and kind of run that thing over there in case there would be absolutely no line driving further than this. But I played it safe. And besides, this is an area where several bus lines were sort of cancelled, I mean for good, in the late summer. There were several lines serving the northern part of Espoo which no longer run. I don't know what the real word is. I think it's lines were cut. Well, the thing is they don't operate anymore, and they probably never will unless a lot of people move in here, which is also possible because we're actually in the capital region. But that was not my point. And obviously, if that's going to happen, that a lot of people are going to move in here, then probably the solutions to the collective traffic will be something different than we have now. But I've already finished building the roads, and I'm already heading back to Helsinki. So it's a fairly long line. I don't know how often it runs. Of course, there are also these. What the hell? I've actually skipped the stop. So where is Hemgård? And what comes before Hemgård? Pienartie is over there, and then we're gonna stop at Lahnos, and then let's go back to Hemgård, and then let's... What the hell? Okay, what if... what comes after Hemgård? So yeah, it stops over there. Well, why can't it stop over there? Oh, because of that. I see. And then we're gonna go through Askisto, adding 2 kilometers to the line once again. And that's it. We found our way back to Helsinki. The timetable 30 minutes. No. Well, this is a strange line. In the mornings and in the afternoons, it's 50 minutes. Will obey. Although it hurts. But will obey. 50 minutes it is. Sorry about that. Furthermore, well, this is never gonna end, it feels right now. And there we go. It's down to 40 minutes 24 seconds. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, roads have been built, lines have been created, buses have been bought, everything's up and running, and there will be a new video tomorrow. So until then, bye.